we're off into the second cast game, but of course these are the semi-finals of the Northman Gaming League Invitational Spring 21, where we currently have THCE and the other team, if my head can stop pretending that it's smart and actually be smart for once. Thank you, I appreciate it. THCE versus RNG, of course, a Liverpool home match on a single university, both of these teams coming from the same university. It's going to be very, very interesting how these teams are going to play throughout this match, and yeah, I'm going to be interested to see how this game progresses.
Yeah, well, as everyone knows, a derby is a massive game. As I said in Champ Select, it's all about the bragging rights, not just the place in the final. This is going to be held overhead for some time, and yeah, I think each team's going to give it everything they've got. So we've got a real good game coming up ahead of us.
I definitely agree. So looking at these jungle positions again, the junglers staying on their red buffs both sides of the map. So maybe we're looking at some early game skirmishing around this top lane where Kane's gonna have a lot of gank setup from this Ornn. He wants to get red Kane given the conquer on his side of the the items, as well as the red smite, which signals that he really wants to get into these nitty-gritty fights. And when looking at this Ornn, he has a lot of CC, of course, a lot of setup for this Kane to come in and get some of these orbs, maybe even get a kill off on this Darius. And Darius doesn't get ahead in these games. He doesn't really do anything, and Ornn is just gonna be too tanky for him to deal with. But as we saw in the last game, if Ornn gets ahead, that doesn't always mean anything in the end, where the Gangplank still managed to get back into this game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. As we said many a times, THCE have arguably the better team composition here, and we know that if RNG want to make a firm stance, they need to get into the game, get a gold lead, win the solo lanes, and use that to push their objective pressure. Most lanes are quite passive right now at the minute. Jungle is just clearing. You can see Thresh walking up. I think that was just to deny XP.
Yeah, as I said in Champ Select, where Kane is one of the very few junglers that can actually match Udyr's clear speed, although the one issue that Kane does have is that he gets a bit less healthy when doing so. But the strength of this Kane is just the fact that he can clear so well, but also that he, in the mid to late game, he has so much potential in these fights where he there's just two juggernauts on the enemy team, as we see a massive trade in the top side.
Yeah, it turns out to be quite even. Darius just missing the second Q to get some health back. Probably going to see more of that trade, and I can see the top lane being quite aggressive towards each other, even when they're not in small skirmishes. You see the Kane coming towards mid lane now. Rises pushed on the tower.
Probably just looking for a counter gank, and Udyr's in mid lane now.
Udyr coming in, and now Kane can do that counter gank. He's coming through the wall, he's managed to get the Q. Udyr stuns him with bear form. It's the W, they're going to secure the kill. Just manages to get away on a slither of health.
I think if Kane flashes and then auto Qs, he does kill the Udyr there, but burning flash from an Udyr means he doesn't have that much gank potential anymore. Flash, bear slap, of course, very, very common combo. It's not really a combo even, it's just a gank setup. Flash, bear slap pretty much guarantees a kill on anyone with a bit of follow-up, and it's very, very important that that flash gets burned. Very good counter gank, very well played by this Kane. Rip Kang piloting this champion well, aware of where this Udyr might and can go, and then covering for his laners.
Yeah, first strake's going to be up in about 10 seconds. We'll see if any team decides to put early pressure on it, but I can't see it with the lanes being so even. A little fight in the mid lane. You see neither laner come off with any advantage. Top lane managing to regain some of the health they lost before in the fight. Hopefully we'll see a bit more. bit more fights in these lanes. You see in the bot lane, the Zaya's going in on the Thresh. The Thresh misses the death sentence. And this Janna gets a big Q, but it's not going to help with getting any kills. It's just a good trade on the side of RNG.
Fresh Flash is going to be important though, because Flash plays, of course, Flesh Bear Slap, but it's with a Lantern that helps you get into the fight as well, and then you can start looking for these fights in the bot lane. Kayn can of course get through walls very, very efficiently with his E, and then you're looking at these fights in the bot lane against two fairly immobile champions who don't really have any dash, they don't really have any mobility. Of course, Janna gets movement speed, and this ult does mean a lot, but the flash from Fresh is a very, very big deal for them to deal with. It's now on a 5-minute cooldown. I don't have to worry about these flash plays for 5 minutes.
See Ongo in the top lane, he uses E to disengage rather, but Darius manages to apprehend him back. He's got the 6 stacks of his passive. He's going to back off because the minion damage is too much.
I think there's a Ornal in the top lane burning the flash from Darius, in fact. I don't know if Observer caught that, but
yeah.
It's...
And Udyr's managed to secure the first dragon, which is an Ocean Drake.
Yeah, same dragons as last game, in fact, Ocean into Mountain, and then if we get an Infernal Soul at the end, that's gonna really amplify the damage on this THCE team composition, but it's also gonna help on the side of RNG to help alleviate some of the scaling disadvantage their team comp has, because they do have two Juggernauts, but if they have Infernal Soul, they actually scale pretty well. They have now extra damage to back up their already innate tankiness, and then you're looking at these fights where if they get to Infernal Soul and they are accelerating towards it right now, that's going to be a massive win condition for their team.
Udyr just bested by the Raptors there, decides to take his chances and leave. Very passive game going on so far. I think no one wants to be caught out and become a bit of a joke between the two uni teams.
Of course, there's a lot of the line here. Of course, it's a spot in the finals, yeah, but there's also bragging rights on the card, and it's very important for both teams to win this match for multiple reasons, and I think playing safe is a better way of doing it rather than just going all out aggression and randomly flipping the game Fnatic style over random things they shouldn't even be fighting over. But you can see already this advantage because Udyr can do the Raptor camp. You can see this big CS advantage on this Kayn starting to develop.
As well as the one on Kaisa, she's got just over a 10 CS lead on this Saya, and none of them have really been forced out of lane. I can see where the pressure from the Thresh is coming in and affecting the CS of this Saya.
Evade from Udyr here, kind of questionable.
Kane's managed to catch him out. The Orianna's going to cut, manages to get the slope. The Ornns came down as well, and that's a kill for THCE on the jungle. First blood goes to the Ornn top lane, and Kane's looking to start the Rift Herald. There's also a bot lane fight. Thresh has managed to be killed, and that kill goes to the Janna, which is unfortunate, but it's gold is gold.
Yeah, it's a big kill on the top side of the map, especially where there's 2 assists plus a kill means there's more gold going over, and it's just a questionable invade from Udyr where he just randomly walks into the enemy jungle. Big that he goes over to the Ornn as well. Has a red buff now means his trades are going to be very much in favor.
Ornn's engaged on Darius. I don't think he was going for the kill just to get some poke down, and managed to do so. Say Ornn's a very strong champion at the minute because just of how tanky he is, and he can still deal that damage when he needs to, and the Rift Herald's been spawned, but Ryze has managed to catch out the Orianna. Udyr comes in, but he's not fast enough to get the burst out. Big shockwave from Orianna. KQ's in the ult on the Ryze, and that's kill for the Kayn. And we've also got a kill for the Darius up top lane of his passive, yep, and that's an Ornn dead. Udyr manages to survive that fight, so does the Orianna and the Kayn. But the flash from the Orianna managed to secure the kill. Desire ults in to try and get the root, but she misses the root. Good dodging from Orianna. She's just going to lay down some auto attacks and secure the kill. And that's overall a 2-for-2 trade over the map.
Yeah, there's a lot of... I think we caught the curse as teams where we said there's not going to be a lot of action, and then suddenly there was a lot of action.
Yeah.
It's pretty big though for this Kane, where he's gotten a lot of orbs right now. He does have Gore Drinker right now. I don't know if he's gotten his form yet. He does, in fact. Ross now on the map. He's unleashed. He's very, very big. And he has his Gore Drinker. He has his form. This Kane is going to be unleashed on this map. He's going to start finding these fights. He's going to be very, very hard to kill in these fights. He needs to be burst down. He's a high priority target. He's just going to rip and tear for the enemy team.
So yeah, the next Drake is coming up in about 40 seconds, so let's see what each team decides to do to settle for that. See Kane top lane, going for the blue buff. Udyr, meanwhile, staying bot lane. I think he's just preparing.
Yeah, Drake's coming up in 20-something seconds. Bot lane to fight for priority, same as mid lane. And it's going to be, as we see, gank in mid lane. He's just going to run away. And it's just a fight for priority over this bottom river right now.
Really like what this Kane's doing. He's constantly around the lanes. It seems like he almost knows every step Udyr is doing. He's always ready to counter gank him. He's doing really well.
And despite being around his lanes a lot, he's still got a massive 20 CS lead, which in the jungle is like a full rotation of your camp. So it's a very, very big you know, player on this side of this THCE squad, where he has a lot of agency in this game right now. And if this game is going to be won in one of these early game skirmishes, it's going to be his backup on which it's going to be carried.
Now we can see that the Drake's up. Both bot lanes are starting to move towards it, and both junglers. We see Orianna leave the mid lane. See if she can get some early pressure to try and secure the objective. Saya managing to get a bit of health off Kai'Sa.
Yeah, he's in the bush right now, and he might be looking for, as I said, a flash play into Lantern. However,
and there's the Kane W, knocks up the Xayah. Janna ultimate manages to disengage. Xayah doesn't get the root on the Kai'Sa, but Ryze has come in with his ultimate. Udyr's here too, and he gets the damage down on the Kane, but the Lantern saves him. That's a really good Lantern from Thresh. Orianna's coming down to join the fight. Udyr wants to go straight for the dragon, top lane. Minding its own business, and now back down.
TP cancelled for Morn as well, so that's massive. And now there's going to be a Drake fight coming up, but Kane doesn't have ult, Kane doesn't have any health right now, and I think this Drake is going to go over to
I think this is going to be RNG's Drake.
No smile on the Kane as well. It's going over to this red team.
So that's a 2 Drake advantage for RNG. The ultimate comes out. He's hoping to catch Darius out. Whether he gets the knock up, he's got the brittle passive. Just waited too long for that brittle passive, and I think his wall is going to go down. I think he played a bit safe there due to the turret, but I think he could have secured the kill.
Darius doesn't have that many defensive stats right now, and Ornn does do a susceptible amount of damage. However, now find the top lane,
another fight going.
Backing away from the route. However,
gets the brittle stack, the Q, and that's a flash for the Ornn to secure the kill on the Darius.
Darius just overstepping his welcome there. Just he's missed a few Qs, and then you know, Ornn's just gonna out sustain you with his innate tankiness. And Darius does have teleport, so lane is okay, but
he also has a 20 CS lead on this Ornn, which is going to be very useful considering he's got a kill on him. And also this Orianna too, a 20 CS lead on the Ryze. I think that edging out on gold for THCE.
Yeah, of course they've also gotten a few plates in the mid lane with that Rift Herald they picked up from that kill on the invading Udyr. 2-level lead right now for this Kane in this jungle. He has got 20 CS lead still. Bot lane's already 10 CS lead as well, so there's a massive disparity right now. Top lane's going alright, but Ornn is expected to fall behind against the Darius. And yeah, it's just very well played from the entire side of THCE right now. 2,000 gold ahead, very well deserved. The only issue I foresee right now is it is indeed an Infernal Soul, and if RNG get these Drakes stacking up, and if they get this third dragon, they're gonna have so much agency just plating the map, because now THCE has to get every dragon. If they get caught out, they're gonna start losing these objectives.
Yeah, I completely agree. THC, they do need to make a big play to secure these objectives. They've got the goal to do it, it's just they've been dragged into unfortunate fights each time that the Drake's been brought up, sorry, and just been edged out. But 4 Infernal Drakes, that'll be massive if they can get all 4. If not, then RNG is going to have that massive buff that it really does change games when you get Infernal Soul.
Soul really changes the game. The only one that kind of doesn't is Cloud Soul, and even that on champions like Udyr, who does spam with ult pretty much off cooldown, and just the game-changing ultimates on the side of Darius as well has a lot of movement speed at level 15 especially. Even Cloud Soul would be good on RNG's team composition, but it is an Infernal Soul, which means a lot for both sides as engaged in bot lane.
You see the Flay the Udyr is coming in to stop. But the Xayah manages to burst down the Kai'Sa before she can do anything. Thresh puts the box up, but it's not much to stop this Udyr, and that's a double kill for RNG. See a fight going on.
Yeah, it's a big couple of kills right now where they're gonna get the start. It should be first start of the game is on, and this gold lead, it was 2k a few minutes ago, but right now it's pretty much equal, and that's a massive swing in the favor of RNG.
It's going to be another fight top lane. This Darius has now turned his 20 CS lead into a 30 CS lead, but this one gets the ultimate, manages to knock him up, followed up by the knock and the brittle passive stack. Darius manages to get some health back with the Kayn ultimate, and they managed to kill the the Darius under the tower. This Orianna's also going in on the rise, and he gets the flash out, and he just can't make the flash from the Orianna, manages to kill.
I was about to praise RNG for finding these fights. They're suddenly making these mistakes all over the map. You know, Kayn is topside. Why are you walking up so far in this top lane? They're gonna drop Rift Herald in the top lane. They're gonna get a lot more gold on this Orb, but also more importantly, a lot more gold on this Kayn. And he's very big right now. You can see
Kayn's in the enemy jungle with the Orianna. Managed to get a few abilities, but Udyr is a fast champion. You're not going to catch up to him that easily, even with a slow from the W.
Yeah, it's very big right now. How this Kayn is playing is very, very well. He's just putting so much agency around the map, up 30 CS, but still managing to perform a lot for his lanes. Of course, Udyr's got a few good ganks off, but if this Kayn starts really rolling in this game, I don't know what burst damage is going to make sure that he's not going to survive in these fights.
And there his THC securing their first Drake of the game. We see RNG coming in. Can Udyr get in for the steal? No, they managed to secure it, but this could be a fight. And it could still turn out in RNG's favour. The box up by Thresh, he manages to hook the Darius manages to kill him. Kai'Sa flashes out, but the Udyr's followed. I think there's going to be a kill for the Udyr. Yep, on the Kai'Sa, and the Darius manages to kill Leon. That's RNG. Even though they didn't get the third Drake, they've still managed to get a couple of kills out there, which is very good.
Yeah, it's a 3-0, despite losing Drake. That's going to be a very, very big, important step in getting this gold lead to close. And yes, they do lose the dragon, so it's a 5-minute timer. That's going to be in favor of THCE, but flat Darius.
Darius has got the hemmed on the Orianna. It's the hemorrhage the Orianna with the shockwave. She might manage to get the Darius, but the shield just saves him from the Janna. And another heal from the Triumph. Flash from the Janna to avoid the Kayn W. I think that was needed. And there's RNG with another big kill. Now they've just edged ahead in gold. It's really good for them. They're doing well.
Yeah, RNG really making plays in this mid game where they're just team fighting better against the better team fighting composition. It's very, very interesting to see how this game is developing right now. And 1,000 gold lead now for RNG. Very, very up and down. I like what I'm seeing from both teams really, where especially RNG right now in these team fights is. Yes, they're making some individual mistakes in these laning phases, especially the Darius got caught a few times, but it's still a lot. It's still very, very good how these teams are approaching the game. It's just that the execution for RNG is 5% better right now, and that's what's making the difference in these team fights.
Yeah, I think as we said in Champ Select, we think THCE have the better team fight, but it seems the roles have reversed. THCE are getting good picks, winning the solo lanes, but RNG are coming in with big team fights and managing to secure the objectives. There's Kane going in, mid tower's down, so he can probably get the kill shockwave from the Orianna. He manages to ult the Rise, and that's a kill. So yeah, another pick from THCE, as we said. They're going for opposite play styles than we thought.
Yeah, it's a common trend in these. I don't want to say low elo, but like lower elo games where getting caught is very, very common because yes, we're still in a communicated environment, but the communication is still difficult in these environments, and we're just not used to looking at the map in these. I mean, platinum, diamond, elo, maybe even gold if some of these lower people are in there. So it's not uncommon to see those mistakes happen where you just get caught out in a side lane. It happens to me in solo queue a lot as well. So it's important to notify yourselves of that, but it's still a mistake that you should try to avoid as much as possible. And it's good though that both of these teams, as well as the teams we saw in last game, realize that these mistakes are happening and punishing them very, very proficiently for really trying to close this gold lead. It's less than 1,000 goals, about 500 gold disparity right now between these two teams, and this game is turning out to be a very, very close one. And I think maybe one team fight around an objective into a Baron can really swing this game in favor of one team or the other.
And as we say, that Baron come up 2 minutes ago, no one's really made any pushes for vision around it, and I think they're probably just going to wait for the next Drake, which is up in 1 minute and 10 seconds. Don't know if RNG are going to be willing to give up the second one as much as the first, but now we see THCE go for the Baron. Janna manages to get the vision there. See RNG trying to come and react. It's not a very fast clear from THCE, so I think they'll be able to do something in time to stop them. He ends up disengaging from the Baron and backing off.
I'm a bit surprised they went for that when Kaisa was nowhere near that fight. She was clearing waves in the mid lane, and then now this RNG comp is going to have priority over this dragon, and I don't think anyone wants to face check a Darius and an Udyr where they don't have to run at you, you have to run at them, and that's very, very important. So I don't entirely understand why they went for that Baron fight when Drake wasn't up and it was about to spawn.
Speaking of Drake, it's up in about 10 seconds, and it seems that RNG are going to have the pressure here. Got Prio bot lane, but still THC are going to come up towards and see if they can contest it. Darius is top lane. Mid lane
This does FTP though, so it could be a 5v5 within seconds. And they're starting up the Baron right now, and they're trying to look for a fight.
Very good whirlwind from Janna. It's a good play. The Ornn ultimate coming in, he could get all three, and that's a massive knock up. The Ornn managed to take out Desire. Fresh finishes off the Janna. Kane secures the Infernal Drake, and that's a very good play from THC. Good use of the team fight, good ultimates. Really well played.
It's the combo I was looking at for the entirety of that game, where you're just looking at these wombo combo team fights. Ornn ult, Black play into Orianna ult, into Ornn ult. Just groups the entire team together and then puts a lot of CC on them. And now, I was saying that Baron wasn't the best idea to start there, but now 2 members dead, they don't have TP on either of them. So this Baron should be a very, very possible opportunity for THC to really swing this game in their favor.
Yeah, the Kai'Sa's here as well, and she's probably got the best Baron taker they've got on the team. They are melting it. This Udyr is looking for a way in to try and steal. All 5 of them are there. The Ornn manages to secure the Baron, and then a team fight goes in here. The Ornn gets the brittle on the Darius. The Kane's in, but he's getting focused by everyone. He manages to flash over the wall. Oh, it was a Q, my bad. And the shockwave gets 2, and it's killed Janna. And the splitting up not focusing on the right person. Ornn's flashed to get the Xayah and just managed to get away on a sliver of health. I think that's the fight done, but THCE coming out on top on that, and now they've got a 2k gold lead. I think the 2k gold lead's also due to some of the out farm, like Kai'Sa, 20 gold on Xayah, Kayn, 20 minions, sorry, Kayn, 30 minions on Udyr, and the Orianna too, 30 minions on the Rise.
This game's turning out to be a really fun one, definitely, where both of these team compositions, they're very different, but somehow they're clashing in very ideal ways, where both, like, especially this Orianna right now is getting turned to shine, where Kayn is just showing his proficiency as a champion inherently, where he can just survive for so long against so many people. Wrath, of course, Gorge, Curse, Therax, has his ults to buy even more time, and then you're looking at these team fights where really the longer they go, the better it is for the side of THCE, because Kayn has so much healing in the front line of this Ornn, of this Kayn, of the Thresh is just so massive. These team fights are really turning out to be very enjoyable and very interesting to watch, and I really hope that whatever team goes through from this game is going to continue that in the finals.
Yeah, as you said before, they both got the different styles and the clashing, but they're really playing well on each other, and we see the Kayn going in the Darius tier. I think he's going to get the kill, and that's very good. The Baron empowered minions are helping him get that. Maybe they'll get the top turret, but Janet's here to shield. See Ornn and Thresh floating about, but the rest of RNG is here to help defend. And the Kayn's been knocked up by a tornado, but he gets the Thresh lantern out. That's very good from the support there.
Kayn is just such a strong champion at this point in the game. He just runs down this overextended Darius. 10% max health on his Q right now on both slashes, and then his W does something absurd like 130 bonus AD damage. And these fights are really starting to turn in favor of THE. I think the side laning concept of the side of RNG is very good, but they're just failing at it because of Baron.
Sprinting towards the Kayn, he manages to get the bear, and then the Rise roots him down, getting some damage on, but he don't manage to carry on for the fight. He managed to turn around to focus on mid lane. It's getting sieged down. Baron buff has just gone.
So the side laning concept is very good from RNG, but it doesn't quite work against Baron empowered minions, where the Baron just makes them so damage resistant that you just get pushed in automatically if you have someone with Baron against you side laning, and it makes it much more difficult for this team composition to play the way they want to. And this dragon fight's really going to be instrumental in seeing how this game is going to progress.
It's gonna be a wary one for RNG, I think, if they go for a big fight here. And Ornn gets the knock up on the Xayah and the Janna, and the Janna's been taken down. The Xayah ult to try and get out. She manages to just edge out. The Ornn ultimate knocks up the Udyr, gets the brittle on him. Managed to both run out. Very low health on the Xayah. Kayn's going after the Darius, manages to get the knock up. He's just following up with the autos, can't get to the blast cone quick enough. He's got the ult on Darius and he's taking the Kayn with him. That's the W, and that's another kill for the Kayn. Really well played by Kayn. Well played by the whole of THC, getting a good team fight in prep for this dragon up. And I think if they managed to kill that Xayah and Rise, they wouldn't even be going. They could have just tried to go for some inhibitors and Nexus turrets. But in the end, THC come out on top. That's really good for them.
A massive team fight right there. Very good catch from SA on this Ornn. He's just managing to perform very well despite some early game mistakes, and he's now 30 CS, but he's playing this Ornn, piloting this Ornn very efficiently. And I'm very interested to see how, if this team does win this game, which they're preparing to do. This top jungle especially is going to be very interesting for me to look at how these players are going to perform. Of course, Aiden the tank, of course, he's flown under the radar, but he's gotten some very massive shockwaves in the mid lane, but also in these team fights to really secure these team fight victories for the side of THC. So I'm very interested to see how this team, how this composition, but also how this team is going to fare as this game, but also as the tournament progresses.
Seeing what THCE are putting out here, they weren't too far behind, but they've managed to just storm into the lead. It's going to be interesting to see them in the final to see if they can carry on this good form.
Of course, note has to be made that the game isn't over yet.
Yes.
No matter how much we are talking about their potential in the finals, but right now Baron's the most obvious objective on the map right now. Kai'Sa has gotten a few items. She doesn't quite have her natures yet, so she doesn't actually do an obscene amount to Baron yet. But there's a lot of potential for this Kai'Sa to kill this Baron very quickly. Kane has 3 items and a stopwatch right now, so he's massive as well. And if they want to force this Baron, I think they can, because the team fight is just way too strong on their team composition. I don't think RNG has anything to deal with it.
Yeah, I think they're just going to have to give this up and hope for the best when it comes to Siege. Rise has got good wave clear, Zaya can do well too, but it's the case they've got 3 really massive champions, Thresh, Kane in his Rast form, Ornn. They can tower dive, they can easily get the kills under there and push to end the game, so it's going to be interesting to see how RNG play around this Baron.
Yeah, right now they're just buying time, making sure that these wars are cleared. There's no vision left on the side of, no control wards left on the side of RNG, and so they're gonna go for this Baron. However, there's a blast going there, so they're gonna have to watch out.
Azuli is definitely going to go for the steal, but the shockwave from the Orianna manages to stop him. He still gets the blast thrown over, and that's a good smite from the Kane to secure the Baron. They manage to take out the Udyr in the meantime. The Kane's on the Zaya and the Janna. Ornn manages to just hit the ulti on the Rise, but I think they're all going to get away. Yep, and still, that's a kill on the jungler for THCE and a Baron, and I think they're going to look towards calling this game quits. However, yeah. Darius is pushing the bot lane.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Darius is still pushing bot lane despite that. I think they're just saying, okay, Darius, you probably win against everyone in a 1v1. You're just going to side lane for the rest of the game unless there are other Nexus starts, and then maybe you can join our fight, and then maybe you get a miracle inhibitor. Maybe we can start getting some pressure on this map. But right now, with this Baron on the side of THCE, THCE has complete control over the map.
Looking for a pick on the Janna. I'm really impressed with the way THC have played this out. Got 3 Infernal Drakes, so that just makes even the tanks do even more damage. It's massive, and I mean, Darius is side lane. He probably can 1v1 most people. I wouldn't say the Kane. I don't think he's got quite enough goals, and he hasn't got any Grievous wounds to stop the Rast form healing. But as I said before, it's interesting to see how RNG play this out. They managed to keep 2 inhib turrets under the siege of the Baron, and now we can see Scuttle being contested. RNG managed to just get it, but yeah, I think RNG have got a lot of work to do to get back into this.
Yeah, Dragon's up in 25 seconds. There's a nearly 7,000, 8,000 gold lead right now on the side of THC. So as we've seen, they're face checking.
Yeah, Udyr face checks and he gets knocked up to the arm, but he flashes out, saves his life with shockwave from the Orianna and the Kane to delete this Janna. Kaisar's deleted the Darius, and the Zyre is also down as well, and I think this is just going to be a push to the end.
Yeah, there's a wave somewhere in the mid lane, flash forward,
flash from the Kaisar to get the Udyr. That's really, really good.
They might just push for the end. They have a Baron left on a few members. It might run out pretty soon, but right now it's still going on. And yeah, very clean game thus far.
And they get the Infernal Soul as Kane tries to take it. Very good.
Yeah, 10 seconds on Zaya, 15 on Darius. I don't know if they can hold on to this Nexus for much longer.
No, and that's the knockoff from the Ornn on this. That's a very good death sentence from Thresh, and Kaisar managed to secure the kill, and that's the attack on the Nexus. And I think we're going to call this GG for THCE, who head into the finals. Well done. Good game.